So the
There we go.
the link, the doc
Yes.
link,
Yes.
it's just sending me to
Oh, geez, what is it not working?
no, but I can go back and
I
uh,
wondered, I thought I gave you editor access. Let me pull it up real quick on my computer real quick. Oh, I was going to give that to Alec because he has to go to work. What do you have to do? I have to go later. All right. You work short, you work longer than him, so you deserve the other half of the sandwich. I got it. That's fine. So does he. Go ahead, eat the sandwich. I should have made two. All right. Let me go find it real quick.
okay, I went to a different link.
Okay. Let me see.
So I got it.
Oh, good, perfect. And it lets you edit. You could
Yes.
just like, and you just type your name. It's just little. I just have AJ. He keeps track of all the documents for me and all the like he runs all the accounts and stuff and payments and stuff. So I
Very
just like to make
nice.
sure it's all done and good. And yeah, we are good. Did you ever get figured out, do you need anything different? Because I know it failed that one time because your card gives you an issue. Is it
No,
Stripe or are we good?
no, I should be good. It's just,
Okay, because I create
doing it.
I deleted that link because once it flagged it as failed in the system, I figured maybe I should just create a new one. So yeah, so
No,
um,
we should be good. Actually, I could probably get have my wallet here. Oh,
okay, perfect. No, that would be great. That would help me to have that out of the way too. And then I have strategy plans for this 12 weeks, which is different than we did the last 12 weeks. But based off of everything I learned from the last session, I feel like we can go kind of like a different approach this time. So I'm going to let you know, I'm going to see what you think about it. And if you agree with it, I'd love to it's going to be a dual focus instead of just what we were doing before. But we don't have to. I'm just going to propose it. You tell me what you think, and we'll go from there.
awesome. No, I need
Great.
your ideas. I love it.
So,
Okay,
yeah. So go ahead.
payment should be
Yeah,
in the
go ahead.
bucket.
Perfect. Good. Um, yeah, let me hear it. Yeah, we are good to go. Okay, done.
Read on your side.
Awesome. Yep, it came through. We're good. Um, okay, so my everything, like I took a good while to kind of digest everything from that session. And I really feel like moving forward, you would benefit from taking a dual approach to this in the next 12 weeks where yes, we do all of the business stuff. I would love to get the mentaledgenetwork.com up, running, looking good so that you have somewhere that it's like I built this. This is me. This is legit, right? We have a forward facing public entity that we can say, okay, this is the source of all of it. If you want to check out me, here is everything. So that can start to be worked on almost immediately after this call because what we can do is set up a time for you and AJ to have like a small window together where he can get your logins, um, he can get the transfer, he can get your login to your GoDaddy to be able to get because you already got the domain, correct? Yes.
Yep.
So we just need to kind of link it all up, get it all set so that that is all running. And you did do the Go High level. You already have that?
Hmm.
Perfect. So we just got to get everything in there, transferred, built, and up. And it does not take long. He's been cranking these out pretty fast uh, for everyone. And it hasn't been, he's been getting better and faster at it. So it's good. So with this 12 weeks, I almost want to do like a dual purpose because what I feel like with you is that half of this battle is identity, kind of. having you really sink into this identity that you're going into. But more important than that is having you start to interpret even these small stages of momentum as success in your mind, as to start to sink that in and almost trying to redefine the source of where your idea of success comes from. Because I feel like right now we might be chasing a bar that is always going to keep raising, because I think because of the source of kind of what everything you experienced in your childhood, since we aren't going to get that from the sources we want it most from, we almost have to redefine the end game. Because if I could fast forward 5 years from now and hypothetically say you build $1 million brand that you stand on top of, that you help, that you run, that it is literally like a network, possibly a network of other coaches under you for women in business. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, really think huge here in that fact. And you have all of this success, you have everything that you're chasing. I would ask if your mom or if certain people in your network didn't actually fully acknowledge it for what it was, could you really stand there and ultimately absorb it as, yes, this is the moment that I wanted. This is the validation that I knew was possible. Would that actually be there? And could you absorb it? And would it be there? And if that's not there, that would be my big question to you.
Yeah, no, I would be able to because I'm not close to my mom and I'm not close with my family any longer.
Okay.
Actually, my mom doesn't even know. She knows that I'm doing coaching, but
Okay.
I've talked to her nothing about what I'm actually
Anything.
doing.
Okay.
No, because I do want to. I've purposely kept her out, and I don't know. I'm just not close to her to share any of that with her because I don't
Yes.
trust that she won't be judgmental
Okay.
because she is
Yes.
on everything, right?
Right. Right.
So I've purposely, I don't talk to her about it and then she forgets about it. So we're all good, right? So, I
Perfect.
mean, she's 84. So,
Okay. So
yeah,
that helps a lot, right? In knowing, because
yeah,
yes,
yeah,
go.
I'm not
Yeah.
letting anybody into this side of what you and I are creating unless I already trust them. Like
Okay.
Tina Guth,
Perfect. Yes.
I would give her like my bank account numbers. I totally trust that girl, even though I've
Right.
never met her face to face,
No,
right?
I know though that I 100% agree. Yeah.
Um,
100% agree.
so that's kind of where I'm at.
Okay. So then where I want to then dual do this is, if you have already grieved that, let that go. Know that that's not, and my mom, I'm in the same way. I think I've told you many times before. I no longer, just like you, share things because I know they're not going to be received how I was wanting them to be received anyway. So I do compartmentalize that. But yet I do have people in my circle that will kind of, and it's a fine line too, because we don't want to necessarily share our, that's part of actually creating the things we want. We don't want to overly share all of the things. Like I tell you guys some things, but if you would see the all of it, people would probably pick up my dream book and look at it and be like, "Oh, this girl's delusional." You know what I'm saying? But I love that about me. And honestly, what's going to be crazy someday is I'm going to be able to expose that after the things in it come to pass and be like, this is the level of delusion you need to to
Thanks.
create the delusionally successful reality that most people think is unachievable, because I am with the secrets that, and I found, remember how I told you I was finding different pieces of the puzzle all the
Hmm.
time? Do you know I just found another piece of the puzzle yesterday that blew my mind away. And this was just, I just spoke to you about it, told you about how to do it. And now I have a whole other piece that's insanely relevant and purchased this new book that was 60 some dollars that will take 3 weeks to get here because it's from a Russian philosopher and it's like 700 pages long. But when the woman shared the tip that she got from this book, I knew that this was my next breadcrumb on the trail of putting all the pieces together. So remember when I told you about creating some sort of image that is that future image of success to you and thinking about it before you fall asleep? I've talked about this many times. The newest layer of this is to feel it as if it were a memory, something that has actually already happened. Something so little, that tiny little that blew my mind. Because most people, when they try to visualize, first of all, they're seeing themselves. I already knew that that next piece was being yourself. Remember, I said, be in the image you're experiencing. Be in it, see it through your own eyes. So that's one layer. Most people like see themselves getting all the money, see themselves doing all the things. So the being yourself is another layer. But the remembering yourself, totally different mental feeling. Like you're almost having that visualization from a moment of that's a past memory. It has already happened, which gives you this another layer. And then holding the attention on it, which is also why I told you it's hard, you have to practice, is like an opera singer training to hold the notes longer. That was also part of what she had said. And it made so much sense because if you've tried this and if you start to use this, which I really hope you do start to incorporate, even if it's just before you fall asleep at night, when you start to create this little mini movie, little scene for yourself, watching how long did I hold it tonight? How long did I hold it the next night? Because thoughts come in. I've been practicing this shit for years and I still get messed up. I tried it last night I was so excited to try the remembering part of it. And I'm in there and I'm like, yeah, I get right off track. I'm all the way over here. I'm like, how does that happen? And then you got to come back and so it's incredible the focus, but it's not only the intention because you're doing these things with the intention that you know that that future Jen already exists. Actually, this is an entire program that I haven't even created the foundation totally for yet called Future Self Conditioning. That is what you're doing like an athlete. An athlete does not get to the Olympics overnight, right? There's all those little nuanced things that they do from diet to exercise to training. Future self conditioning is like training for your future, like an athlete would. That athlete walks as if they already made it to the Olympics. That's part of the mental training that they do because if they can't see themselves on that platform, they're never going to have the drive and connection to make the sacrifices it takes. Secondly, they make decisions about their body differently every day because they're showing up from the identity of that level of athleticism and athlete and commitment. So they're not putting pizza in their mouth, right? They're doing, I mean, so it's those things that future self conditioning, that is what it is. You are constantly conditioning yourself as the future you. I told Tina this the other day when I was working, and this is one of the things that people would probably look at me like, that's kind of crazy that she does that. But it's also the fact, though, that I know how this stuff works, and that the more I can embody today what the future version of me is already doing, one, the faster that it comes into reality, because that's just how that's how it all works. So I was telling her there's this stretch down my crappy old Y. I've done two visualizations. I've done me donating a giant check to that YMCA because I've used it for over 25 years. It's falling apart right now. And the elevator doesn't work and I got to walk down these old basement steps. This Y is ancient, man. It's probably one of the first Ys. You got to go down this really long hallway that's just, it literally feels like you're taking a walk into like the basement of a prison. Like honestly, this is not, it's not a good feeling. But as I walk this stretch of the hallway, I do a little conditioning exercise where I'm walking down the hallway of like a stadium or a venue where I'm going to be speaking on stage right before I get to stage. And I literally walk as like I'm walking into places that I know already exist and already are in my future. But I do this stuff now. I don't like that's the thing most people don't do. When you move like the person who already has what you want, that identity, I want you to start getting to know her to the point where she starts to control everything every day. It's so I want her to kind of start coming in for you more and more, one layer. And Tina, we went over this too. Tina's getting hit with this big block of like, and I already talked to her. She knows I share stuff about your calls with you, and I told her vice versa. I said, it's only stuff that I know will help each of you. It would never be personal things or things like that. It's always relevant things to that I know. And she was like, oh, I don't care. And so I'm hoping you don't either. But it's just these little things that I know right now. Honestly, all three of us are in similar journeys, right, with the stages of business growth. So as these things unfold, when you notice the connection, I like to share them. So she was telling me that right now, because she is searching for chairs and she didn't do a background like you yet. Okay, so you already stepped into that. You already did some intentional identity work that now shows on camera. She is doing that right now. And as she's doing that, she was sharing with me that she was really feeling that imposter syndrome, which is exactly what you had a little while ago. I think you're way more, I think you are beyond that in levels that you weren't when we first started working together, but it's all bubbling up for her right now. And I told her, though, that that's the thing. When we shift into an identity, remember, our psyche wants to be comfortable. So we want to stay in, it feels good to be predictable. And I know we've talked about that too, where uncertainty is one of the hardest things for you to be okay with, especially because of your brain and the way it works, with wanting to know the systems beyond the systems, the why, the how, and the very deep layers of that, all the knowing, right? You want to know all of it. And that's your brilliant brain at work. But yet at the same time, when we're talking about tapping into a new identity that's going to bring us to this future version of ourselves that we want, the most beneficial thing that we can do is find a way to be okay with the not knowing and letting just the next step unfold, unfold, unfold. And when we do feel the imposter syndrome bubble up, know that all of that tends to bubble up even larger when we're on the brink of what I told her and what I refer to as expansion feeling. We're going, it's like going to the edge of a mountain cliff. Like, right, you're climbing a mountain, you get halfway, and you know you could keep going, but keep when you keep going, it's a choice. There's also a bench there with your name on it that you could sit and relax. Like, you may not even have to do any of this. And we talked about this with Tina yesterday as well, is Tina could happily retire right now, not work another day in her life.
Really?
Oh,
Good for
absolutely.
her.
Absolutely. She could happily retire right now, not work another day in her life, and not have to do any of this. And so I asked her, though, would that be okay with you? Would that be okay with you? And I knew it wasn't. I knew it was like, and it's so funny because her husband ended up talking to her the same thing, like, you know, I see you working so hard on this, but we don't have to do all that. Like the husband saying, dude, let's go live at our lake house and just let's just be, man. Let's just be, right? And they earned this. She's in that stage of life and can do that. And I asked her and she was like, no, there's still something in me that says I need to keep going. And I told her that's the voice that comes on the edge of when you are finally, I think, truly getting to the edge of connecting with what your soul or what your energy, something that feels so authentic to you that the prospect of that future you in that identity, it's like it will constantly talk even if you try to push it down. And so she could try to go retire and she would probably be sitting on that lake shore for the next 5 years. That would eat away at her. And then by the next 5 years pass, it could be too late. And so it was just neat to get to the point of clarity. Love, I know you love that word. But it's getting to the point of that though, that says, if I'm feeling this discomfort, it must matter for a reason. And that's the inner voice that I think we don't, especially as women business owners. But I also think that that inner voice is the secret to women business owners outdoing men all day, every day. Because women have a voice and an intuition that men do not have the same level of. We are born with it, and it is a gift. Now, a lot of women silence it over the years, but if we can use it, I even, it was one of the very first things I called out for Tina. I called it her business intuition. And that's what I want you to know. We can have two types of intuition. We can have our personal one that helps us with relationships and emotions and making just general calls for our life. And then we can have business intuition. And that's what I want, hopefully, your identity to start going into. And I feel that that's in there and that's already, that seed is already planted in you, because if it wasn't, you would look at your job or look at your day job or look at what your profession and what your expertise and degree does, and you would say, I could do this for until I retire. I could find another job and do that. We wouldn't be here sitting now trying to work on something else, right? Because that lives inside you. You know there's something more. You called the day job soul crushing, right? I want this part of your life to be soul fulfilling. So in order to get that, we just need to keep, I told Tina this too, doing. We have to keep doing the next step, because both you and her, your businesses, we could fast forward 5 years and the Mental Edge Network and the Second Wind Project may not even exist anymore. We don't know. Something even larger could come from it and greater. And like when I started doing what I was doing, I created the colorful clearing method, and I did these in-person things where I'm thinking this is great, and honestly they were. I got great feedback. But as I started, like, that's out the window. Like, but I wouldn't have known to even get to the point where I created what I created if I didn't do my way to the next step. And that if I didn't allow myself to be okay with letting the next step and the next step and the next step just be shown to me, even if I can't understand what that is. So remember the radar screen. You're only going to see certain things. You just have to know and trust that there are so many incredible things out here that just, they're not in your field of vision yet. And then that's okay. That is absolutely okay that they're not in the field of vision. You have to trust that they're out there, but right now you're only going to be shown the dots on the radar that you need to navigate. And then as we get one past one dot and we're moving through, the other dot will slowly sink in and you'll be like, wow, that door opened, or wow, I got to talk on this person's podcast and oh my gosh, that led to this and this led to this. And then you start to see that the little synchronicities or the next brick in the path starts being laid for you, and you don't have to force and try so hard. So that's kind of what I'd like to do with these next calls, is just like we kind of did today. Start opening your brain to identity conditioning and identity shifting, and then second half of the call, like planning and doing. So do you have any questions for me, or anything that, like, I don't know, made your brain go other places since I said all of that? Like, did I
Nope.
lose you anywhere? Am I too woo in any
Nope.
of it? Okay.
No, no. Because yeah, I do think about our calls throughout the day and into the evenings, or if I'm standing around in the kitchen cooking dinner or something. I am doing those little thoughts kind of come in. Like,
Hmm.
oh, take it to the next level. Oh, so it does help. It gives me ideas on, my thing is just like coming up with a creative idea, right? That's just not how I'm planned. But once the seed is planted, then it's like, oh, okay. Oh, what about this? Then
Absolutely.
then I
That's
can
how
get it
it
going.
grows. That's how it grows. Another thing as far as the creativity goes, because this is definitely something that I feel like everybody's key to unlocking their creativity is different. Everybody has a different lock, if you will. So what works for me may not work for you, but I know that extreme levels of creative genius live within everyone. And I don't know if I told you that fact or not, but I think I did. And if I get repetitive, I apologize. But honestly, repetition is the mother of all skill. So that based off of Tony Robbins. And every UPW he does, he has the same freaking speakers, the same speeches, and people attend it over and over again. I've attended it over and over again. And every time I get something different. But I would um, I would say with that though, see now I got off track. Where was the comment I was gonna say? Hold on.
Unlocking creativity.
Unlock okay, the creativity. Because if there's a study done that they studied children and their level of creative genius from ages 5 to 10, it's something like 90% of children ages 5 to 10 test in the creative genius level category. Think about that for a second. 90%. As adults, it's something like 5% test for creative genius level if they were to be actually tested. So what happened? How did we lose that? And we know how we lost it. I mean, we lost it by being conditioned by society, mundane jobs, disappointment, told we aren't supposed to dream like that. Get your head out of the clouds. Stop daydreaming. Little did we know that daydreaming is the way to create everything we want in our life. Literally, I daydream. That's what I'm telling you to do at night before you go to bed is to freaking daydream. Like I'm telling you to do that. I'm telling you to dream and tap into that. So when you look at that, that means that it's in there. Creativity is in there. It lives in you. But how do we get it out? And sometimes that's a little more of a challenge, but I'd like you to start doing outside of the box things that feel very different for you. Do you even own a box of crayons and a coloring book?
No.
Okay, that is what I want you to do. I know it's going to seem crazy. I want you the next time you're in a grocery store, the next time I want you to buy a little box of crayons and a freaking coloring book. I know it. I'm telling you, Jen. We have to start somewhere at showing your brain it is okay to escape into the world of imagination and creativity without any purpose or anything. Take 5 minutes. Now, it may not be coloring, it could be something else. It could be dancing, it could be moving your body. Personally, for a lot of people, it will be coloring or painting, even if you're not an artist, even if you're not good at it. It is just something with, it can be playing an instrument and sounding like shit, like picking up a freaking recorder from like fourth grade and just blowing on it for a few minutes. It's like a portal to the past that helps your brain connect to something that it hasn't connected to in a very long time. And usually when we connect to that, it's like the brain's like, oh, we remember coloring. We liked it. It was so fun. Where has this been for 30 years? You know what I'm saying? And it's silly. But taking a few minutes to do that is really huge. One thing, it's funny that I did for my customers, and this may be something you incorporate down the road too. This is great to incorporate with really good team members. This will be part of some of my ideas when I get that new AI build. Is I would create. So I liked painting and stuff like that. So I would just take watercolors. One, again, it was COVID. So a lot of these ideas I realize are not time realistic for today's society, but COVID society was great. I was able to take all of my team members. Well, one had a special collection. I did this for multiple things and watercolor their names on the front of a plain watercolor card. And that was it. I was just writing someone's name. I was going to write their name in the card anyway. I just decided to make it colorful with some paint. Didn't take me that long, Jen. I mean, really didn't. But I will tell you what, there are people that tell me to this day they keep that card on a mantle because it was like art in their name and they liked looking at it. Like it was, I used glitter watercolor paint one time in the Galaxy thing anyway. But it's doing that type of thing because what I was doing then is I was incorporating something that I love into a business task at the same time. So it was like just one more nudge of saying, you don't have to give this up to get this. And now it is part of my normal thing. Now, what I'll do, one, because my kids are older also. So if you have friends with kids or there's a way to volunteer for something with kids, even though you don't have kids of your own, being around kids can give you a jolt of energy and creativity that we don't get off of other adult humans. I use them as like my feel good siphoning tool. Like, and it's mainly my three nieces. Like, I know right now, I can tell you it's been a few months. I have to get a day with them scheduled. And unfortunately, it is solely for my benefit. I will be very honest, it is selfish of me to say this, but it is solely for my recharge. It's like being able to put your battery into a charger that only exists around children. It's a different type of charger. It's hard to explain, but it's there because you see how their minds are seeing the world differently, and it connects you back to when you were a kid. Like if you can try to tap into anything, and even if you don't have fond memories from your childhood, the really cool thing about neuroplasticity and the way our neurological programming works is that if, as adult current Gen right now, can try to almost rewrite in a way, override the program of the memories that you had that you may have stacked one upon the other of how you weren't enjoying things or it wasn't a normal childhood or all the story, right? The story that we always retell ourselves. I would never ask you to erase that story or forget that story. That's not what neurological reprogramming exists for and is about. But if you can take that story and imagine a totally different scenario when that happened. So for me, and I've done a lot of this work, this is kind of inner child work. It's a version of it. It's also a version of, there's an actual technical therapeutic term for it. I can't, it has four letters. I won't be able to remember what it is, but this is actually a studied technique in therapy that actual licensed therapists take people down. And what it is you recall the event that happened that caused the stress. And really, truly, this is actually used in some trauma, like therapy. So, but what I have noticed is that it doesn't have to be these traumatic events that need over kind of written. It can be just general memories that seem very vivid to you. And so if there's one memory that takes you back to your childhood that you're like, phew, it's like 2 seconds and you're there again. That's a memory I would revisit and say, okay, all right, you can see the little girl experiencing that, but can you take your mind back into the eyes of that little girl, almost visiting her as two separate things? So let's say adult Jen showed up in your, and this is all done through imagery. So remember, just like we're using the imagination, you can do this while you're falling asleep. I won't say that this doesn't sometimes bring up feelings that you might not like. So be prepared for that. I'm not asking you to relive anything that you found uncomfortable. I'm only asking you to kind of pick a moment where you know that discomfort lives or that you identify with. See your adult self walking into that scene because everything's like a movie scene. You are the director. Right now, you're sitting in a director chair. You're directing your thoughts, you're directing your emotions, and you're directing your physical body. When I say pick up this phone, who is picking up this phone? I am. If I'm gripping it, I'm gripping it. If I'm detaching it, I'm detaching it. I am. Well, who is I am? Is that just Gina? the analytical brain, my physical brain in here. No, it's actually kind of Gina sitting in the director chair telling my body to pick this up. Gina in the director chair is also allowing Gina and to feel guilt, shame, despair, anxiety, but director Gina can also tell this Gina that we don't have to feel that way, that feeling that way is a choice, and we can feel other emotions. We can choose to feel love. We have more control over our thoughts, body, emotions than anybody knows as long as you realize that it's at a higher level of awareness. It's like, I think this is more your consciousness, your true consciousness, higher self consciousness, you might hear it be called. You could identify it with the soul. I don't speak like that anymore because I like that's not part of that's more Master Co. And if you do, if you went and saw him or you listen to him, he's going to give you the more woo, but based off of spiritual stuff. But again, I want you to think of it as like, because if you really go into the way your brain works, how are memories? They're like watching a movie or a TV show, really, truly, in our brain. It's no different than a movie. We're seeing a scene. So if we can go back in that scene, walk up to the 5-year-old character, Jen, and say, come here, let me give you a hug. I'm going to take you from this place and we're going to go over here and we're going to do this. And you walk that 5-year-old Jen over to a different room, and in that room, something fun and magical and loving happens. What happens in your brain when you do that, it's like the emotional charge and effect from that memory starts to dull down. Think of it like a live wire, just like, it's just full of charge. And it's always full of charge. But then you start decreasing the current in that wire, and all of a sudden, its capacity to hold it lessens, it weakens, and then it's not going to give you the same level of charge. So that's what you do when emotional rewriting. So those are things that you can start to do that I promise you have this really crazy future, present ripple effect. It's like when we decide to tell that younger version of ourselves that they no longer have to carry all that pain and weight, it's like something magically ripples through time space that just heals it all the way down, and it makes you walk lighter. It makes you walk through. See, you Austin ate your sandwich that I made for you, so I just wanted to get mm, oh, they are, because you were going to take my yeah, there's laying on the front seat in an unlocked car, so luckily we live in a safe neighborhood. Yeah, I laid them on there when I thought you were taking my car yesterday and then realized you weren't. So, yeah. Free BMW, anybody? In the car. Keys right on the seat all night long. Like, doors open. Anyway, so that, hopefully those are little things that you probably have, I would assume, like, have you ever heard about that, like that kind of stuff or doing that?
Hmm.
Okay. Have you ever done any work like that already?
Hmm.
Okay,
Yeah.
so do you feel like it's worked before? And if that's the case, then speak up and be like, I've already done this. Like, I've already done versions of it or whatever. So let me know too, because I don't want to give you
Yeah,
stuff that you haven't
yeah,
done yet.
yeah, I have. I don't know, I'm just kind of leave it where it is sort of person.
And that's a choice you can do. I left my stuff where it was for a lot of years, thinking that it's as easy as closing a door in your brain and just saying, that's in the past and that's not affecting me now. But from where I'm standing now, I know that by unlocking that door as many times as I have and going back in and just doing these little things, every single time that I did it and every single time that I still do it, because I think that's part of the ongoing, ever evolving evolution of the work. Because when you do one, another thought comes up, and one, and is it uncomfortable work, Jen? Yes, it's uncomfortable work. I remember when I was doing some of this work, I was in Erie with Avery. I had taken her away for a weekend because I needed to do my taxes. And I wanted a weekend where I could shut myself in a hotel room and crunch pages and pages of numbers because I was not good at the time with keeping. I'm much better now. AJ's helping me. Business expenses, I just would let them go. Like I would have them, but I would just have to do all the tallying for my accountant because I didn't have like account full service. So even through all my business growth and doing all the things that I was doing, I was taking time to do these like rewriting techniques. And Master Co explains one as a blue movie screen. Now, I like the one that I had you use because I feel like we're taking that memory and putting a kind of one that we write, our imagination writes, something that makes it just feel better. And he more does, it's called a blue screen technique. He has you remember the event, take blue paint on your hands, pretend you're covering. So you picture the movie screen on the wall, you put the image up there, you cover it with dark blue thick paint. He says, dark blue, cover it up, cover it up, cover it up, rip it off the wall, crunch it up, look at it. You are not the like you are not the, you are this holds no cut disconnect dissolve, throw it in the salt water and then rip the paper like 7 times. Like I'm telling you, like that's. And I was doing this stuff over and over with so much stuff, and it works. Don't get me wrong, but then I'm also my brain is also realizing people are not going to. A lot of people aren't going to do this stuff because they're going to think it's like crazy. But yet, when I was working on some of my deepest childhood traumas, with I think I've shared with you before, included like childhood sexual abuse. I wasn't prepared for the amount of horrible anxiety that came up. And I had already gotten myself off of all my medications. I didn't have a Xanax with me, I didn't have an Ativan with me. And I'm having a panic attack so bad, 2 hours away from the nearest Xanax, that, like, because I knew I had some at my house or my mom or somebody would have had some if I needed it. And I knew that I would be disappointing Avery if I didn't, if I took her from where we were and cut our trip short. And so I just couldn't, I got through it. But those are just some of the things that I know that had I stopped before doing some of that uncomfortable work, I wouldn't have the level of freedom that I have now and the level of trust and openness that I have around so many things. So I just challenge you to, you don't have to do it all the time, but revisit it if it comes up. So if a theme is it's coming up for a reason, what bubbles. Trust what bubbles up. And instead of when something bubbles up, us saying, whoa, okay, let's shut it over here or let's get it back down, let's let it come up, let's see it, then let's do something to transmute it, rewrite it, and then let's let it go. Like, let's say, okay, that has a spot that can just be released now rather than just acknowledge and shut. So maybe something like that be a little bit
Okay.
better.
Yep.
Okay. Just to open the awareness to
Okay.
it. Okay. Um, so pivoting to the website and getting all of that done. What I would love to do if you have time, and I told Tina the same thing, I'd like you guys to at least just for one shot try to, it doesn't even have to be a ton, doesn't have to be long, just some landing page copy on your own. If anything, I'd love for you to quickly write, you may already have this down. I know I actually still have a lot of your story in my phone because I have so much stuff of you loaded in your thing. But whatever you feel you want someone to read and know about on your landing page. So the way I'm kind of designing these sites is what I feel like the current market I see everywhere, which is a very long first page. And the very long, because if you go to Mel's site, and that's the way I do, look at the people that are doing let's see does she just have just her podcast? No, she has it so you can almost shop for where you want to offshoot, right? So you start, it's her podcast, right? But then you go down, it's other things. You go down further, book down further. She does have some programs and stuff, all of that. So We almost want to do the same thing with the very first page of the Mental Edge Network. Now, luckily, your logo does not need redone because you have a high definition, already good logo. Tina did not because I did hers on AI. Yours is done with actual things, so we're good. So we'll have your logo and your picture at the top. Now that's another thing. Do you, and this isn't to stop us, we're going to get it up there. But maybe that's something you want to do soon is to get some new photos for this business taken. Maybe,
Mhm.
in front of where you're sitting. And you could even do these by yourself too with your phone. Don't discount the portrait mode of a phone with really good lighting. And I have AJ and I are almost done putting the finishing touches on a document that has all of the like supplies for setting up almost like a podcast area, some level of microphones, box lights, this acrylic sign I got made because that would look amazing in your background. And you don't have to get as big as one; it can get small, but your logo would look really good on there. If you wanted to get something that just has it's an identifier for every video you make, right? Something it doesn't even have to be go on your wall. Can probably you might be able to lean it or we'll see. But anyway, that's all going in a document. Um, so I want you to just kind of think of what is absolutely crucial that I want on my website, and then you write that all down, whatever it is. Then I'll take that. You don't have to polish it. You don't have to just all the stuff you think. And you can get it from AI too. That's fine. Like you can work with AI and use it. Just give it to me. And then I'm going to polish it up for you guys. Then send it back and you tell me what you think. If there's words in there you don't like, if there's any layout that you don't like, then we'll change it up. But what we'll do is as soon as we get that done, then that's the very first piece to AJ putting it together. So different headshots if you want them. They are definitely not needed though. I do love your photos. I think they look very warm, very nice. So that's only optional if you want to. Video now. And this is exactly kind of how I told Tina, this is how I'm doing neuroscenes. You don't have to do this idea, but this is something that I thought would be kind of cool to have at the top of my website. And maybe you guys can use it too. It will be like, so imagine like you're popping into a video and you're saying, "Hi, I'm Jen. Welcome to the Mental Edge Network. I want to take 90 seconds to show you around the website real quick so you know where you can find everything, what I'm about." And you basically have the video editors take live, it's almost like making a little commercial for yourself that's you filmed explaining, but they're going to take live screen recordings of your website moving down, which I know you've seen these videos like this. It's like someone showing you around the course or something. But I just think something like that is something people would take 90 seconds to watch. Like, because it immediately lets them hear your voice, it immediately lets them experience your energy. And it's basically no different than if I would open the door to my house and I would be like, "Come in, Jen, let me show you around." Now, how I want your website to feel is I want it to feel as if we created a room in your home right now. Let's say we did an addition and it was like a sunroom. And the only purpose of this room was for when you walked in, you got to feel amazing in it. You didn't care what anybody else thought of the room. It was just the ultimate Jen Jewett sanctuary. Like that's what this room represented. Whatever feel that room has, I want to try as hard as we can to get someone to feel that as they're scrolling down your website. Now, that's easier said than done, but it can be done through imagery, color, and a feeling of, and the video that we make too. Because remember, that's how people perceive us. So, can your website almost become something people experience versus something people just scroll down? And that could also be with you picking music that feels like your brand. a mental edge network, I feel like you have music that like maybe behind your videos that is very like dramatic, like dramatic and themed, like cinematic motivational music. You know what I'm saying? Something that's like that's what I associate with your brand. You may or may not, but something that's like I'm in a place and this is going to help me fucking change. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm getting out of my rut. So these are the things that we can have on there as people scroll, where it becomes more of something where I want websites that AJ and I design, which I pulled him in so unknowingly, and he's like, "What are we doing?" and but he's okay with it. I mean, and I said, I want websites if possible. And again, I don't know how fast we'll be able to execute my total dream that I see in my head, but to give a website a different feeling than most people have. That's all. Something that just feels different when people go on it. So that's what I'm trying to give to all of you guys to create for you, is something that when people visit it, they're like, "Whoa, what is this?" Not,
So
"Oh,
would I
here's another
record
piece."
that? Would I record that in Zoom?
You could I would personally, I'd record it on your phone, because we're going to take the screen image of it, and so some of that is going to be voiceover work, some of it's going to be, actually you don't even have to do voiceover work, because um, you could be you could record it on your phone and just have notes for yourself, really, because with the post video editing, that's when the screen will pop up and your video will shorten. You could have the video, or your video cuts out and it's just your voice. So you see, like, kind of what I'm saying? So it doesn't have to be done as, oh, let me share my screen and show you where to scroll down. It's not like tutorial. We want it to almost be like a commercial rather than feel than a tutorial feel. So you're just saying, hey, welcome to the Mental Edge Network. I wanted to take 30 seconds to tell you what you're going to be able to find below. The first section below is where I house all of the information about why I started it, what I'm passionate about helping people with. When you scroll down past that, and maybe we even color code the sections. Like when you're in the, I had and you could even say that everything's color coded around here. If you're looking for health, it'll be in the orange section below. If you're looking for this, it's going to be in the green section below. If you're looking for this, it's going to be whatever. We could do something like that. You really have a lot of different options on how you want to lay it out, but it's just the fact you're telling them that when they scroll down, they're going to see this, and then they're going to see this, and then they're going to see this. And then you're able to say, in every single section, you'll find an easy to click link to expand if you want to find out more. And that's it. Like, it's just making it really easy. So if we take them down and we want to take them over to, maybe at the bottom of your page is where you talk about the Bravenly supplements. And if people want to talk about more, I would probably put that towards the bottom. We don't want that up at the top because we don't want people making up their mind already. We want them to experience you before they get to that. But then it just says, maybe it's like the lab supplement library, but maybe because I'd love for you to have even different products. We've talked about that before, where they can see that it's not just Bravenly. But this is where you find all of all of the supplements that I feel have helped me in my journey, right? And so it's kind of like a catalog, but you have something on the main page that highlights that they can go over here, and then that page is all of that. So we have one page that explains, then they're going to be able to join the lab. Then right, you have like your multiple functions in a row. So if you think about that when you start to write the copy, maybe let that be how your brain creates it. So it creates the bio section for you. And we're definitely doing the bio section from first person. I have this thing when I go on websites of people and it's in the third person. Do you feel that way?
Yeah, I don't know. I go back and forth on what reads better.
I don't know. I don't like, if you're coming to ginacoyle.com, I guess I don't want you to be like, Gina Coyle is creator of neuroscenes and all this stuff. Like, no, you're coming to my website, man. You're gonna like, it's me. Hi. Like, nice to meet you.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I guess I don't like, if someone is writing about me, then yes, obviously use that up because it makes me sound better. But I like first, but decide, because if you want a traditional website in third person, we can do it. So let me know.
Yeah,
But I
no,
like first person.
I like what Mel does too. Hi, it's Mel. You know,
That's it.
that's
Yes.
it's a
It's
tagline.
it's
Hey, it's your friend
over
Mel here.
over complicating it is where we lose people. And the more, I've said it so many times, more authentic, more real. You're going to capture people because of you. And I was helping Tina with this too. I said, Tina, because she was saying, well, all this information's out there already. Why would they listen to me? And that's,
Yep.
and I struggled with that too. Not only did I struggle with that, but I struggled with, I'm going to tell people like about neuroscience. I have nothing that says I earned the right to talk about that, do I now? Besides my own personal study and my own personal experience. So that I was like, people are going to be like, well, and you know what? Some people might, but I know, and I want you guys to know that we could have one message and have 10 people lined up, you, Tina, me, and 7 other people, and we all have to teach on the same little message. And then we put all those videos in front of an audience of 1,000 people. And we have every person in that audience pick only one person they want to continue to hear a video from. There is no audience that will have all one number. That's not how it works. There will be such a broad thing. I mean, you might get one might have lower, one might have higher, but every single video would have certain people, because that's how individual a person's perception is on the other individual. This is not one size fits all. So you have to understand that no one is going to deliver what you're talking about like you, and that is what sets you apart. And I've heard you speak, I've heard her speak. You guys have totally unique deliveries. Everybody does. But you have a really grounded, no nonsense approach to extremely, not only scientific uh, things, because all look at all the ingredients, all the things that you know what do in them, the gut brain connection, all of that stuff. You not only have scientific knowledge, it's the way you articulate it. And that's what you have to understand. Your articulation is different than anyone else's. So just don't undervalue it. That's really the biggest thing. And then we're also never going to get that little voice, that little doubter, that little imposter voice out of our head until we do enough times that it's almost like it shuts it up, because it wants to stop us. It wants to, and that, again, that's on the brink of expansion. Like where I think you are, I think Tina is, you're at a precipice of saying, wow, what I'm about to do matters, and it's a big deal. And so that's when all this stuff bubbles up. Um, I think that is it as far as next steps. Oh, calendar for getting us set up with AJ. What does your schedule look like? Let me see here. Um, Let me see. Mm-mm. Okay. How long to give us both some time? Do you have a busy weekend this weekend?
No, no, we're gonna
Okay.
do something tomorrow, but not, we have no
Okay.
idea what.
Then because I kind of still want to have time to take whatever you give me and edit it, right? Like to get the website copy finalized. So, would we be able to I don't want to give him two people on the same day because it's harder to log in and all that stuff. So, he could probably do Monday if you think we can be done in that time crunch. Um, I can. I don't have much going on this weekend. I have a writer's thing tomorrow, but that's about it. Um,
I
if
don't think I could get it together by
by
Monday.
Monday, okay. What about what about next Thursday? He's doing Gina on Wednesday, so I don't want to give him two people on Wednesday or team. I don't know. He's doing somebody on Wednesday. What about next Thursday?
Yeah, what time are you thinking?
He's flexible, so more so tell me what um he has not been taking his other jobs because he's been doing all this stuff for me and so
I could do the afternoon on Thursday, the 23rd.
perfect. Okay, what time is good for you? And then I got to convert that to Eastern time.
You tell me in Eastern.
Um okay, so when you say afternoon, that would be like 1 p.m. later your time?
Yeah, later
Okay,
would
so
be,
that
yeah.
means 3 he'd
Mhm.
be fine. 3, 4, 5 our time. So 1, 2, 3 your time.
Three
Anytime.
would, yeah,
Three,
3 would be good my time, so 5 your time.
3 and 5 my time. Okay, perfect. Let me put that in here. Mm-mm.
Is that like hour, half hour?
No, I don't even think he's going to need an hour. He'll need almost like 15 minutes, 30 minutes with you most. He's just
Okay,
going to need to get your logins. They send you the codes, like it make sure that he can get in. Once he gets in, as long as we give him everything we need, then it's like he just plugs it and you don't even have to be on for that. Like
okay.
he's just doing the transfer, he's plugging everything and then yeah, can you hold on. Book Jen J for next Thursday at 5 p.m. for her website stuff. Okay. I just texted him, so that's in there. And then I'm going to put it in my phone so that I have a reminder for him. Jen, 10, set. Okay, done. Um, so yeah, even if it's just the bio for you, and then what, maybe a little bit about the Mind and Body Lab, why you created it, and then maybe a paragraph about these are my supplement because we can start bare bones just to get this up. Doesn't have to be perfect and we can always update it. Right now, it just has to be doable. My website, we're in the process of changing it now. My first one, it was like embarrassing sending people to it, but I didn't care. It was up, it worked. It got me a few hundred people in from 10 countries. It started the ball rolling. That's all it needed to do. It did its job. So just those three things, those copy. I have all your branding images. I have your branding colors. So I don't need any of that. I would only need any other photos that you would like on there,
Okay.
that you feel like you'd like on there. That's it. We don't need any videos done at first. We don't need anything like that. Let's just get it up and done, and then the video stuff can come later. Did you make any videos for Jen on your old website?
Mm-mm.
Okay, then we're good. Which actually better because you wouldn't have been using them anyway. But if you haven't, that's fine.
Uh-uh.
So we're good. Okay. When did AJ call me? I think that's it then. Did he? Yeah, he just called me. I wonder if he worked. Let me see. Okay, no, that was nothing. Okay. Let me just make sure he's good on that. He's texting me back right now. That time okay? Okay. Any other questions? Perfect. He said yes. So that's a confirmation on that slot. So that's good. And then any other questions for me?
Should I be looking at, like, I popped into Gina's website for her second wind project. It looks like she
Perfect.
used Jen's template.
Yes, that's all being completely redone. So
Okay.
hers, that's getting thrown out the window.
Okay. So if
Yes.
I had a website template like from Go High Level,
Yes, you can either, so he's been doing either creating it from scratch so that it can just kind of have the look and the feel that we want, or you can
yeah.
absolutely pick a template. It doesn't
Okay.
matter. Templates are, I can't remember if he said templates were easier or not. He told me they weren't easier
So
because
I was kind of thinking, yeah,
they
you can't
limited
change it.
some of the customizations features on it. So he has been doing it as like custom laying out the order that
Okay.
we want and then adding the colors that are the branding colors in exactly where we want. Like um, Gina's Nourish table has teal on the background. It's really pretty, and and then white, like cream. It's like it's coming together pretty good for her. And so that's what I would like to do with you too. Just keep your feel of your whole brand in there and
Okay.
not, and I think that's why people go with the templates and then it's like someone else is telling them what their brand feels like, you know?
Yeah.
So
Uh,
that's why I say let's do it this way if we can and see, and we can always change it
okay.
and upgrade. I mean, look how many upgrades people website do their upgrades all the time. So yeah, good deal. Um, okay, so in the meantime, if you work on this, shoot it to me. Like
Okay.
even if you do one section at a time, if you just share bio, send me the bio. If you do the group, send me the group, and then whatever. Because the soon as you do it, then I can edit it, get it back, and then we can get it done. Everything else will be fast once we do
Okay.
that. And then, yeah, and then that's it. I will see you Tuesday. Oh, Tuesday we are doing the product things. I'll drop in the chat what's coming up with that, and we'll be, yeah, good to go.
Awesome. And then we're
Every
again on the 24th, right? At 9:11 your time.
Yes, let me see. Yep, I have that all the way through for 12, yeah, for 11 more weeks after today. So I'll get
Okay.
this going and then yeah, let me do the stop recording. Are you jumping off for work now? You're good. You're fast. You have to get back to work. Yes, got it. Then
Yeah. So
I will share my story about already ending it with that guy another time.
Herb,
Herb is gone.
Herb's out the door.
Herb's at the door, and
What?
it's a great story. So, yeah. So I know Herb is at the door, and it was amazing, Jen. It was like saying no to, it's like saying no to an all expense paid wonderful vacation that you knew would be so fun to go on, and that you would have such a great time, but you knew that vacation was going to come to an end, and that it would probably hurt more ending the vacation than experiencing the whole vacation itself. Does that make sense? That's what I said no to. And it was listening to my inner intuition. He had so many amazing things, but I all I can say is there was an inner knowing that I knew he would not fit into my life for very long, if that makes sense.
Yep.
I 6 months maybe, I don't even think a year. Like
Really?
I saw two paths that, and it's so wild to be so certain about how you feel about someone and you love the way they feel, but also that they can't walk this path with you. It's not, and maybe they could walk it for a little bit, but I knew I would fall really deeply in love with this man. And I knew that I was going to have a conversation 6 months down the road that said, you don't fit in my future, and I'm sorry. And I didn't want to, it was like, I didn't want to go through that heartbreak and like, but it was still great. It taught me something that I didn't know existed. And now I'm looking for a man that gives me the feeling like I'm on vacation, but yet I don't have to end the vacation. Is that possible?
Gotta be.
So that's what I'm looking for. But yeah, so I wanted to at least update you. 4 dates, hey, that was a good streak. I'm like, I'm probably
That's
good for
awesome,
I'm good for a while now. Like I'm
right?
good. I was like, I'm good. I got like, I'm good for a while now. We're good now.
Got my sugar
Anyway,
fix.
got it. We're good. Got it. Anyway,
That's hilarious.
isn't
All
it? So
right.
I knew you'd like that. All right. Talk to you later. All right.
I didn't
See ya.
figure that Herb and Gina kind of went.
Right? Herb Bloxam. Herb Bloxam is like just yeah, I can't. It wasn't
Yeah,
a yeah, no.
no. Mm-mm.
No. Oh
Have a
my
great
goodness.
weekend.
All
I'll
right,
talk to you
see ya.
soon.
All right.